I'm here to talk to you a little bit about our partnership with MBEP. And we are so grateful. Thank you so much, Tara, for asking us to be here today. This is fantastic. I think that the economic outlook of any region needs a specific focus, and certainly being able to talk about economic development and housing is key to what's happening. Housing came up today and in the earlier speakers, so I'm really excited about that. So Housing Trust Silicon Valley, we are a community development financial institution, and we at Housing Trust, our mission is to use transformative housing finance and public and private partnerships to create more equitable and affordable communities. So that includes partnerships like the one that we have with the Monterey Bay Economic Partnership. So Housing Trust and MBEP started the Monterey Bay Housing Trust in 2017. So that was about 7 years ago. So since then, 12 loans have been made, $12 million has been loaned. All but 2 loans have been repaid and are ready to revolve back into the fund. That produced 840 affordable homes. 6 more loans are in the pipeline, which will produce a potential 200 more plus potential affordable homes. So this is a picture of 1482 Freedom in Watsonville, which has been renamed Tabasa Gardens. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that building. I'm actually going to the grand opening of Tabasa Gardens right after this. So partnerships like this, it's not just the capital, it's the ability of the capital to create the housing that will create the homes for folks who don't make a lot of money to live in. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that investment in particular, because I think it's such a great example of what we do. So what is Housing Trust Silicon Valley? Maybe I should back up a little bit and talk about me. I probably have I'll do that in like 30 seconds. It's a long story, short story. Went to grad school, was in urban planning, got really excited about economic development. 30 years ago, there wasn't that much of a discussion about housing in particular. It was more about housing policy. Everything was about economic development. So my entree into understanding more about the economic development was really through, about housing was through economic development. It wasn't a separate thing. But as you can see, and the topic has evolved. And now we have housing as this field that is so pertinent and very much on the tip of everybody's tongue. But the big thing is the partnership. What do we do? How do we partner to bring in more capital to create homes that are affordable for a wide spectrum of individuals? So one of the things we have to do is we have to partner, and that's with folks like MBEP. So one of the things that I thought I would just say, why did I mention that? Just because I just want to really put into character what the leveraging of investments actually does. So Housing Trust is a CDFI. MBEP is an economic partnership. What did we do together? We leveraged our investments. So leverage is the power to take action, actionable power for some sort of action. So leveraging investments is to make powerful action for an investment of maybe, in this case, it's capital. So this partnership that started in 2017 has been amazing. One of the things that I would say about us collectively is that MBEP has the in-depth knowledge right here in the region to know exactly what's happening economically, I would say demographically, some of the changes that are happening. So Housing Trust, we're a CDFI. We're actually based in San Jose, but we cover 14 counties throughout the Bay Area. So that's Santa Cruz, San Benito, Monterey, all the way up to Sonoma, Marin, Santa Clara, San Joaquin even, Sacramento. So this regional partnership really helps us to have folks that are here, because we want our capital to affect everybody in our region. But there's some things we don't have, and that's that local touch. And so that is critical because it's not just about the leveraging of the investment, it's about the strategic placement of that investment and knowing exactly the right partners will tell you, this is a great thing that's happening here. Would you like to come and bring some of your capital? And so that's why MBEP, Matt, Tara, those folks are doing fantastic work, and we're really excited that the power of this partnership has produced so many homes. Let me see. So one of the things about how does this work? So grant funds from MBEP come in, and they help to lower the cost of the loans that we make. So I'm probably going to try to do a 30-second overview of what a CDFI is. Anybody know what a CDFI is? A couple of you, Community Development and Financial Institution? No? Okay, so I'll do a quick primer on that. So a Community Development Financial Institution was actually it's a designation from the U.S. Department of Treasury. There is a CDFI fund within the U.S. Department of Treasury on the federal level. They noticed that all these intermediaries were actually lending funds, but they still needed additional capital, additional help to actually gain investment. What is that investment? That investment says that we use this capital from somewhere else using our lending guidelines to lend in a way that traditional financial institutions are not able to. So the nature of a CDFI is to leverage investments. So for a housing trust, we do ours a little differently. We use a number of different types of investments. So some are from banks, some are from tech companies, and also some are through our partnerships with organizations like MBEP. So one of the things that I think is really powerful about the CDFI world as a whole is that we are able to make loans that cannot be made through traditional financial institutions. Our mandate is to make loans that would affect individuals and families at 80% AMI and below. So that is critical for how we work and who we want to have an impact on. So our focus, as you know, as an affordable housing lender, we make loans to developers who want to build affordable housing. MBEP wants to have an impact on their region. So we come together with their funds to help us lower the cost of capital to those developers. So what does lowering the cost of capital do? That helps the project to actually work. So if anybody knows about affordable housing, the capital stack can be complicated. It can use several different types of capital, like federal dollars, state, local. So you can have a city money, county money, money from the state and federal government. And sometimes there's still this gap. And a lot of times Housing Trust assists with that gap, but it can get very costly. So how do we lower the cost per unit to build affordable housing? Through our partnerships. And that lowered cost helps the project to actually work. So I think I talked a little bit about this local touch that is critical for us as a regional CDFI to create this and move this partnership forward. So organizations like MBEP work with you, business, industry, local and federal government, to have not only an impact on jobs, housing, commerce, trade, labor, et cetera. These are all the impact that Tara and her team keeps. I keep talking about you guys because I'm so impressed with who you guys are and what you're able to do. So the one thing that I think this partnership has inspired is it actually spurred us to, we were approached by the Santa Rosa Chamber of Commerce, and they said, is this something that you can bring to us? So we did the same thing in Sonoma County, worked with a local agency that was interested in creating affordable housing, because I think the economists talked about the movement of people from the region. Many times what we hear from our developers is that's primarily because they don't have an affordable place to live. So given that fundamental aspect of your life, where you live, not being able to be met, a lot of people move. So things like Tabasa Gardens, this affordable housing development that I'm going to talk about in a little bit, are critical. So I think I talked a little about, maybe I'll give you a quick overview of our Housing Trust Tech Fund. So we source capital from philanthropy and regional employers like technology companies throughout the 14 counties to make loans to developers. So Pacific Station is a development in Santa Cruz, and they received a loan from the Monterey Bay Housing Trust. And we did a pre-development loan to this developer, and it helped it bring it to a point where they're actually ready to break ground. And then Housing Trust has another partnership with Apple. It's called the Apple Affordable Housing Fund. And we're able to make a construction to perm loan for the same project. So these types of early stage capital are critical, right? Critical to help an affordable housing work. Because when we talk about the capital stack of affordable housing, it's important. It won't happen unless the capital is there and it's affordable. Also the will. I think there was a comment about what you're able to do as a city, but a lot of times, right now, affordable, there's NIMBYism, and people are evolving into YIMBYism. So NIMBYism is not in my backyard, and YIMBYism is yes, in my backyard. So to date, the MPEP portion of the fund has leveraged 7 times with other housing trust sources. So of the 12 million, 1.6 is from MBEP. And more investment is needed. So if you're interested in knowing how to invest, please talk to Tara and her team. This capital is critical. So I'm going to continue on. And these are pictures of 2 projects. One, the team, this is the Housing Trust team, and they're standing in front of Pacific Station that's under construction. And the other project that we have a pre-development loan is 831 Water Street in Santa Cruz. So Pacific Station, I think you might know a little bit about that one. We've lent on Pacific Station North and South, and 831 Water Street, and Tabasa Gardens, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. So I've got 2 minutes, and I'm going to give you an idea of what this leveraged investment is. So in 2020, Housing Trust and MBEP made a loan to Eden Housing for 1482 Freedom Boulevard in Watsonville. The project is now called Tabasa Gardens. So Housing Trust provided $2 million in acquisition. So $111,000 of that came from the Monterey Bay Housing Trust, our partnership with MBEP. And of that, we also added $200,000 of capital magnet funds. We used some of our tech funds, our general capital, and which also includes another grant that we received. So the loan closed in September of 2021. So this particular project has a set aside for approximately half of the units are for farm workers. There will be 8 units dedicated to households experiencing homelessness. So there's 53 units total, and the resident mix proposed is seniors and farm workers. We talked about exactly how can we make housing affordable for the folks who live here right now, workers as well as our elders. This is critical. So this particular project is an example of what we've been able to do with our partnership. I showed you at the very beginning of the slides, you saw 1482 Freedom and you just saw ground. It didn't look like anything. But you just have to remember that ground is always the potential for something to be built that's incredible. So today I'll be going to the grand opening for Tabasa Gardens, which could not happen if it wasn't for our partnership with MBEP. So I just want to close. I have 13 seconds. So I want to tell you a little bit about the amenities that this project is able to build. It includes a community room, laundry facilities, an outdoor barbecue, and a play area. In terms of green features, there are solar panels over the carports, low-flow water fixtures, Energy Star appliances, and a dedicated indoor bike parking. This project will be Green Point rated certified, is Green Point rated certified. So, and just to wrap up, I just want to say that, you know, this kind of project, we're so fortunate in this is Affordable Housing Month. I don't know if everybody knows it's Affordable Housing Month. Okay, yes, a couple of you know. So there's a lot of grand openings and groundbreakings that are scheduled around this time. But what you really see is this incredible investment that's been able to be made from folks like yourselves, partnerships that have spurred this type of, this interconnectivity. We are interdependent, whether we think we are or not. We are interdependent. Our economies, our fields, housing is connected to transportation. Transportation is connected to labor and farm and agriculture. Everything is connected. So whatever your part is in this ecosystem that helps to create housing for those that cannot afford market rate rents, it's really important. And I do hope to work with you at some point. Thank you so much.